Sustainable Milton wants you to imagine your life in Milton without a car, and we want you to reduce your car dependence. Even if you have a car, we want you to leave it at home. If you have 2 cars, maybe reduce it down to 1, or even none. Imagine how much better life would be if we could reduce the air pollution caused by car emissions, if we could reduce the asphalt used to create roads and parking spaces, and if we could create a safe space for cyclists and pedestrians to get to their destinations in a timely manner, such as to the dentist, local stores, or cafes. If you want to learn more about the issue of car dependence, and if you want to learn about solutions that you can implement in your personal life, keep on watching the rest of this video. From school drop-offs to grocery runs, most trips in Milton start with the turn of a key or the push of a button. In addition to the high cost and inequity of car ownership, there's another hidden cost to our health, our future, and our climate. Canada is committed to achieving a net zero by 2050, meaning by that time, no one should be burning any fossil fuels such as oil or gas. Urban planning envisions our town 30 years into the future, so by the time 2050 and the net zero deadline arrive, Milton needs to have achieved a zero fossil fuel environment. Personal vehicles contribute the second greatest amount of carbon emissions through their gas use. We could switch to electric vehicles, or we could also plan for a town where residents don't need to use their vehicles to get around. Imagine how much better a car-free downtown Milton would be. There could be more trees, less asphalt, safer biking and walking conditions, better air quality, and in turn, better health. In Milton, hopping into your car isn't just a choice. It's how most of us get through our day because of how our town was planned over the past decades. The town plans have been designed around personal cars as the primary mode of transportation. Single-use zoning, which has been the cause of Milton's urban sprawl, are large subdivisions where there are only houses with no commercial areas. The result creates a car-dependent community. Transportation is a major source of greenhouse gas emissions here, responsible for about 36% of all emissions in the Halton region, which includes Milton and our neighboring towns like Burlington and Oakville. This makes it the second largest contributor to climate change locally, just behind emissions from buildings. Transportation emissions are a significant challenge to tackle. In fact, recent data shows transportation emissions in our area have stayed stubbornly high after COVID, and even increased by 5% in 2023, and Milton experienced the highest rise in the Halton region. This isn't just a global issue, it's happening in our own town, impacting our health, our economy, and our future. Land was plentiful, gas was cheap, car ownership was a status symbol, but now cars have a negative impact on our lifestyle. Every trip we take behind the wheel adds up. It's costing our environment and our community dearly. The air around us isn't just filled with carbon dioxide. It carries harmful pollutants from the vehicles we rely on every day. These pollutants, like nitrogen oxides and tiny particulate matter, are invisible threats that impact our lungs and hearts, especially for those most vulnerable: children, seniors, and anyone with respiratory conditions. In fact, across Canada, pollution from cars and trucks is linked to more than 1,200 premature deaths every year, often from acute respiratory problems like asthma attacks. In 2015, it contributed to 2.7 million acute respiratory symptom days. I'm sure you've noticed how smoggy the air looks on hot days, or how the air feels heavier. That's because of reduced air quality. Here in Halton, transportation pollution is a leading cause of this, contributing to higher rates of hospital visits and even increasing the risk of strokes for people living near busy roads. A report by the Halton Region Health Department highlighted that the hospitalizations for asthma were notably higher among children under 10 years old, especially those residing close to constantly busy roads. Every gasoline car on your street emits over 4.6 metric tons of carbon dioxide every year. That's about 2,000 liters of gas burned per car. Multiply that across Milton's 50,000 plus households, and the numbers get staggering, especially when you factor in that many households own 2 or more vehicles. Transportation emissions in Halton keep rising year after year, and Milton has some of the fastest growth. But there's a better way. One full city bus can take 60 people out of their cars, cutting emissions per passenger by over 80%. In fact, the average Canadian car produces around 192 grams of carbon dioxide per passenger kilometer, while a bus produces just 27. Fewer cars on the road doesn't just mean less traffic. It means cleaner air, healthier lungs, and a community that's moving towards a sustainable future. And while electric cars can help cut tailpipe emissions, they aren't a silver bullet. They still require energy, resources, and road space. The real solution is rethinking how we move, making walking, cycling, and public transit the easiest choice. In the next videos, we'll explore how Milton can make that happen.